Picture two people, same city, same company, same salary, $80,000 a year. They started the same job on the same day, sat 3 desks apart, and got the same annual raises for 20 years. Today, one of them woke up without an alarm, made coffee at home, checked on their investments, and decided completely freely what to do with their Tuesday. The other one is stuck in traffic right now, running late on the way to a job they need because they have no choice. Same income, 20 years, completely different lives. And if you stick around, I'm going to show you exactly what made the difference. Hit subscribe while you're here. It genuinely helps the channel grow. Here's what most people assume separated them: luck, a side business, an inheritance. Maybe one of them just earned more over time. None of those things explain it. The real answer is one number, a percentage. And most people have never calculated it for themselves. Let's talk about the income trap first, because it's the thing that quietly destroys the financial futures of some of the highest earning people in the world. Take a doctor. 8 years of school, years of residency, finally pulling in $250,000 a year at 35. By any standard, successful, impressive, wealthy, right? Except here's what often happens: the income arrives, and so does everything that feels appropriate for that income level. A mortgage on a house in the right neighborhood, a car payment that matches the driveway expectations, private school for the kids, dining out regularly, vacations that fit the lifestyle, a wardrobe upgrade, better wine. None of these are outrageous. Every single one makes sense in isolation. But together, they consume $230,000, $240,000, sometimes every dollar of that $250,000 salary. And at the end of the month, the savings are almost nothing. Meanwhile, a public school teacher earning $52,000 a year has quietly been investing $1,000 every single month for 20 years. They drive a 10-year-old car, they vacation modestly, and they are approaching financial independence while the doctor is still completely dependent on next month's paycheck. This is not a story about income. It's a story about what you do with it. Economists call this pattern hedonic adaptation. The more you earn, the more your lifestyle adjusts to match. And the gap between income and spending never widens. The salary grows. The spending grows. The wealth stays flat. The antidote to this trap is the only number that actually matters in personal finance: your savings rate. Your savings rate is simply the percentage of your take-home income that you keep and put to work instead of spend. Here's how it looks in practice. Imagine someone taking home $5,000 a month after tax. If they save $500 of that, their savings rate is 10%. If they save $2,500, it's 50%. Same income. Completely different financial trajectory. And here's the number that will change how you think about your career forever. At a 10% savings rate, the average person needs approximately 40 to 50 years of working before their investments can support them independently. That's a full working lifetime. Bring that rate to 25%, and it drops to about 32 years. At 50%, roughly 17 years. At 65%, closer to 10. Think about what that means. A 25-year-old who saves 50% of their income could be financially independent by 42. The same person saving 10% works until they're in their late 60s. Same person, same income. The savings rate is the entire variable. Now, here's the part that most people miss, and it's what makes the savings rate so powerful. Spending less doesn't just increase what you save. It also reduces the amount you need to retire on. Because if your lifestyle costs $3,000 a month, you need a much smaller portfolio than someone spending $7,000 a month. Both levers move in your favor at once. So why don't more people just raise their savings rate? Because of lifestyle inflation. And it is quiet, gradual, and absolutely devastating to long-term wealth. Here's what it looks like in real life. Someone earns $60,000 a year and is getting by. They get a raise to $75,000. That extra $15,000 a year, $1,250 a month, feels like breathing room. So they move into a nicer apartment, maybe $200 more a month. Upgrade the car, another $300 a month in payments. Start eating out a bit more. A few extra subscriptions, a better gym, weekend trips they'd been putting off. And by the time the dust settles, that $1,250 a month in extra income has been completely absorbed. The savings rate didn't move, the finish line didn't get closer. They just got used to a slightly more expensive life. This happens to people at every income level. It happens to people earning $40,000. It happens to people earning $400,000. The mechanism is the same. The scale just differs. The most financially transformative thing most people can do has nothing to do with getting a raise. It's keeping their lifestyle flat when the raise arrives and rooting that entire difference straight into investments every time. That one discipline, practiced consistently, is what separates the person with financial freedom from the person who still needs next month's paycheck. Now, how much do you actually need before you can stop? Because the finish line needs to be a real number, not just a lot. This is where the 4% rule comes in, and it's simpler than it sounds. Take your annual living expenses, multiply by 25. That's your financial independence number. If your lifestyle costs $40,000 a year, you need a $1 million portfolio. If it costs $60,000, you need $1,500,000. The 4% rule says that at that portfolio size, you can withdraw 4% per year. And historically, the growth of your investments has been enough to sustain that indefinitely. This is based on decades of real market data across multiple crashes, recessions, and bear markets. Now, an honest caveat. The 4% rule was designed for a 30-year retirement. If you're planning to stop working at 40 and live another 50 years, you'll want to be more conservative. Withdrawing closer to 3.5%, which means multiplying your expenses by 28 instead of 25, gives you a much larger safety margin. Here's why the 4% rule connects so powerfully to your savings rate. Lower spending means a lower target number. A higher savings rate means you reach that number faster. The two variables work together. Someone spending $3,000 a month needs $900,000 to be free. Someone spending $7,000 a month needs $2,100,000. Both people could earn the exact same income their entire lives and end up in completely different places because of the lifestyle choices they made along the way. Now let's talk about the force that makes all of this work: compound growth. Here's a real example. Two colleagues, same job, same starting salary of $50,000 a year. Marcus starts investing $400 a month at 25. He never increases the amount, just sets it and forgets it. By 65, at a historical average return of 10% per year, Marcus has roughly $2.5 million. His colleague David waits until 35 to start. Same $400 a month, same return. By 65, David has about $905,000. Same contribution, same rate of return. A 10-year head start for Marcus produced $1.6 million more. That $1.6 million didn't come from working harder. It didn't come from earning more. It came entirely from starting earlier, from giving compound growth more time to work. This is why time is the only real shortcut in wealth building. You cannot buy more of it. You cannot negotiate for more of it. Every year you delay is a year of compounding you never get back. There's an idea, often echoed by some of the greatest investors of the last century, that getting to your first $100,000 is the hardest part. Not because the savings rate math changes, but because the returns feel invisible. You put in $500 a month and the balance barely seems to move. The progress is real. It's just too small to feel yet. But somewhere past that first $100,000, something shifts. The returns start to visibly outpace the contributions. The snowball, small and slow for years, crests the hill and starts to accelerate on its own. The same money that felt like it was doing nothing suddenly seems unstoppable. Most people never get there, not because they couldn't, but because they gave up during the slow part. Here's your action plan. 4 steps. You can start today. Step 1. Calculate your savings rate right now. Take what you saved last month. Divide it by your take-home pay, multiply by 100. If you don't know the number, that's the problem to solve first. You cannot improve what you don't measure. Step 2. Calculate your financial independence number. Take your current monthly expenses, multiply by 12, then multiply by 25. Write that number down. Put it somewhere visible. That is your finish line. And knowing it changes every financial decision you make. Step 3. Find where your lifestyle is expanding faster than it should. Look at the last 3 times you got a raise or extra money. Where did it go? If the answer is lifestyle, a better apartment, a newer car, more dining out, that's the gap to close. You don't need to eliminate enjoyment. You need to make sure that every raise sends more to your future than to your expenses. Step 4. Automate your investing before you can spend it. Set up a standing transfer from your paycheck directly into an investment account, ideally broad, low-cost index funds, before the rest of your budget even sees the money. Pay yourself first, every time. Without exception, that's it. 4 steps. Let's go back to those 2 people at the start. Same salary, same raises, same job for 20 years. One woke up free today, one is still in traffic. The one who is free didn't earn more. They didn't get lucky. They calculated their savings rate early. They kept their lifestyle flat when their income grew. They invested the difference automatically, consistently, for years. While the compound growth quietly did the heavy lifting in the background. And now that work is done, the money works. They don't have to. That is what this is all for. And now you know exactly how to build it. Subscribe for more videos that break down finance the way it should have been taught from the start. I'll see you in the next one.